Today I'm hoping to share with you my personal attempt to wade into the complexity of my eating practices. My story begins 12 years ago in a village in Kenya. I was a Peace Corps volunteer, living with my host family. They gave me an opportunity to participate in every step of my chicken dinner's preparation. Now, having grown up in the Bay Area, this was new to me. I had eaten chicken and meat all my life, but I'd always outsourced its killing, its suffering, to some person in some factory or a machine somewhere in the world. Now, all of my fellow Peace Corps volunteers were given the same opportunity. Most of them declined, preferring instead to outsource the killing of their meal to their host family. I could not. On a visceral level, I couldn't justify eating another creature if I wasn't willing on some level to at least recognize that my dinner began as a creature and died so that I could eat it. My host mother, Mama Mugo, asked her son to help me. He saved me the exhaustion of trying to catch the chicken and the embarrassment of probably not being able to do so. And he handed it to me. He said, "You stand on the chicken's wings and you hold its neck and you kind of turn it." And when I did that, I saw reflected in the chicken's eyes our shared mortality, our creatureliness. I thanked the Creator for its life, a life that would nourish mine, and cut. I cleaned the chicken, butchered it, cooked it, and ate it with rice and greens. A few months later, I was at my official Peace Corps site in the Taita Hills in southwest Kenya. And I went to a wedding. It was a long wedding. The nice thing, it was outside. And after the wedding, there was a long procession to the groom's house, and I went. When I got there, I was asked, with a few other men, to help prepare the dinner. There was going to be beef stew. I was given the rope that held the bull's hind legs. Another man held a rope that was attached to the bull's forelegs. And a third man held a rope that attached to the bull's neck. And we all pulled. A fourth man came up with a knife and cut the bull in the neck, slicing both of its carotid arteries. We then butchered the bull and we had beef stew a few hours later. After both of these incidents, I did feel guilty. But I also felt on one level clean and honest, as if looking the chicken and the bull in the eyes actually mattered. When I returned to the U.S., I committed to not eating meat unless I could participate in the slaughter of an animal every year, to remind myself that every time I eat meat, a creature, living, breathing, much like me, must die. A cattle rancher took me 3 years, didn't eat any meat. But during that time, I befriended a cattle rancher in the Milpitas Hills. And one day he said, "Hey, why don't you come up and be there when we slaughter some of the cattle?" So I went. But I was really just a bystander. And if a creature was going to die so that I could live, I couldn't allow my hands to remain so clean. This is how I became a hunter. See, the thing I liked about hunting is that at least the animals, they're not caged or penned. They're free to use the gifts their Creator has given them to evade and escape. The turkey, his keen sight. The deer, her evasiveness. the boar, its powerful scent. 9 times out of 10, these amazing animals don't make it to my dinner table. And sometimes, even when I have a shot, I don't let loose an arrow. Sometimes I am emotionally unable to, because killing still isn't easy for me. One September, I had been deer hunting many mornings, and I hadn't seen anything. The month-long season was coming to a close, and I saw my first buck. He was beautiful, majestic. Its coal black nose contrasted powerfully with its snow white neck. Its antlers climbed like crooked trees to the sky. I stood there looking at it. In awe, I lowered my weapon, my resolve melting before this black-tailed deer's beauty. He looked at me, seeming to almost acknowledge what had just happened, and walked off into the oak forest. Sometimes I wonder what my life would have been like if 12 years ago I had decided not to kill that first chicken. Surely I would have avoided a lot of uncomfortable and even disturbing feelings. I would have outsourced those emotions to some other person or machine somewhere. But I would have also missed out on one of the most transformative learning experiences of my life. A learning experience that has shifted my self-awareness, how I see myself, from a human being, somehow uniquely different than other animals, to a creature more like them than I ever thought possible. And it is only with this new understanding that I've come to appreciate the sacred seriousness of eating another creature. Watching the life fade out of a wild turkey's eyes. Removing the heart from a bull's warm chest. Cleaning the muscles of a duck's plucked body. I cannot help but feel as if you and I are creatures too. Our cities, technology, and great thoughts do not change that fact. None of us can avoid Earth's all-inclusive potluck. My death will be another's life. So will yours. This is the way of the earth. I've always known that. But my deepening understanding of it didn't begin until that day in Kenya 12 years ago. And today I wonder what might happen to you. What adventure you might begin. If you decided this week, or even this year, or even once in your life, to look the creature you are having for dinner in the eyes. And allow the origin of your meaty meal to transform you. Thank you.